So what is a grape explorer talking about today? Well, one of my favorite areas in all of Bordeaux is Pauillac, one of the classic areas in all of Bordeaux. The area encompasses quite a number of chateaus, but the top obviously are the first growths, and it is the only area that actually has 3 first growths in all of Bordeaux. The other ones are of course Chateau Margaux and Aubryon. But in this area, you have Lafite, Rothschild, Chateau Latour, which we are showing here in 1996, and Chateau Mouton Rothschild. But the interesting thing about Latour is completely different than Chateau Lafite and obviously Chateau Mouton Rothschild. Latour is a very powerful, rich, dense wine. Usually when it's young, it's almost impenetrable to even look through. The wine is just dark, a deep dark color. Doesn't have what we call that Lafite finesse. Has power, explosive flavors, and a wine that's usually built for very, very long-term cellaring. We have here 5 bottles of Chateau Latour 1996, which we are offering today for sale. 96 was one of the great mega vintages in the 90s. This wine has been very favorably reviewed by Robert Parker. He gave this wine 99 points. Obviously, he thinks that 1 point probably is going to emerge sometime later on down the road of this wine. But this is definitely a wine that I think is one of the wines of the vintage in 96 at Latour. It's a very smaller property compared to Lafite and Margaux. Usually Latour in a if you want to say a bigger vintage would be producing anywhere between 18 and 19,000 cases. They also split the domain with a second wine which is called Le Fort de Latour, as well as a wine that never really leaves France, but you do see some bottles here in America called Pauillac, which is their 3rd wine. But we have this wine available for $700 a bottle, and I think that this, in the scheme of things, is a relatively great price. The current vintages that are for sale, which I think are comparable to quality, is 2009 and 2010, which are going for $1,700 a bottle. And a lot of people would like to know, okay, what is the difference between 1996 and 2009, and why are they separated between $1,000 a bottle? Well, unfortunately right now for Latour, in the market, for those who really love Latour, they are holding back stocks of wine. And for the first time, a chateau in the classification is not offering wines for sale at the futures price listings. And their feeling is that they would rather hold the wine for 10 years before releasing, because they really don't think that the wine is being matured long enough to actually show its complexity, and also to get through the heavy tannins that these wines usually obtain, especially in vintages like 2009 and 2010. But here we have 5 bottles. We are selling them individually for $700 a bottle, and as you can see, they are in perfect mint condition. And I had a couple of opportunities to go to Chateau Latour. It's one of the most impressive chateaus in all of Bordeaux. The reason why they call it Latour was during the 100 Years' War, it was actually a garrison or a fort that was used to at least hold off anybody approaching the shoreline, which this chateau, being in Pauillac, is quite close to the river Giron. So at that time there was a garrison fort, but it was completely destroyed during the Battle of Castillon. And at the end of the 100 Years' War, it was destroyed by the forces of the King of France. And the original tower no longer stands or exists, but in 1620 they did build a circular tower that was built, and it is the present day Latour, or the tower of the property of Latour. So quite a bit of history behind this property. At one time it was owned by the Ségur family that actually owned Chateau Lafite. They owned Chateau Latour. They owned what is now Mouton Rothschild, and they also owned Calon Ségur. and obviously through years of marriage and family disputes, as well as land being sold, the properties have been actually sold off. But at the one time, could you imagine owning Chateau Latour and Chateau Lafite under one family? Completely different properties, though. Lafite, again, very finesse styled wines. Latour, massive constructed wines built for the long haul. So we have, again, 5 bottles of Chateau Latour 1996, which is quite rare to find, and especially in this kind of mint condition. The auction prices right now are anywhere between $700 to $800 a bottle and above. And again, bear in mind that the 2009 and the 2010 are now $1,700 a bottle. So, Chateau Latour 1996.